Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today I will be teaching you guys how to remove a wheel hub and wheel bearing from a 2000 Integra GS, but it should work for LS, GS, GSR, and Type R, I would figure. I have previously taken out the hub, the knuckle, so I'm not going to show you the removal part, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Disconnect the upper control arm, the lower control arm, the tie rod for the steering rack, brake calipers, any wires, cables, hoses connected to it. Don't forget to do the axle nut and push the axle out, and then it should come out pretty easy from there. Mine's already sitting on sawhorses, so you won't get a detailed video on how to remove them. But there's plenty of videos on YouTube on how to remove them, so I would recommend going to watch one of those first before continuing with this video. But I'm gonna start with it off the car. So first off, when you're going to remove or take it apart, I kind of messed up my dust cover, so ignore the fact that my dust cover is completely bent, just bent up. But ignoring that, first thing you want to do is you want to actually push out the hub. As you can see, hub is down here. It is free spinning. Sorry if it's blurry. You do not want to put support underneath the hub because you want to push the hub out. So put support on caliper bracket mounts and the tie rod mounts. Obviously there's probably different, better ways to do this, but this is how I'm doing it currently. Make sure that the hub's not supported, so that way when you're going at the hub, you're not working against yourself. What you want to do is you want to look for this inner circle. All right, this inner circle is what you want to hit to push out the hub. Do not do this outer circle, otherwise you're going to be working against yourself and getting nowhere for hours. You want to do this inner circle. Now what I recommend is get a punch set, kind of like this one. If you have a shop press, or lucky enough to have someone that has a shop press, you could use one of those. It might be honestly easier. But if not, you can either go pick one of these up on Amazon for pretty cheap, or if you're only going to do it the once, go to your local AutoZone, O'Reilly's, and they have a loan a tool program that will allow you to borrow the tool temporarily. I am borrowing since I don't need it. What you want to do for that inner circle is you want to find the right die. I believe that's what they're called. I could be completely wrong. But as you can see, this one is small enough, but we're going to try a size bigger. This is the next size bigger, and as you can see, fits perfectly. Any bigger and I'd probably be hitting the bearing, and we do not want to do that. So this fits. I already have it on because I already test fit it. Works perfectly. What you want to do is when you're once you find the die you want, you put it on the handle and then take the bolt and bolt it tight so that way it does not come off. Then set it up, make sure that's not pushing anything it doesn't need to be, and then you hit the top with a hammer. Pretty self-explanatory. When you go to hit it, I would use a dead blow or a rubber mallet rather than using a full-blown hammer like this. If you're going at it and it's not budging, then maybe move up to a full-size hammer. If it still doesn't budge, probably throw some penetrating fluid at it, maybe some heat from a blowtorch, but start small, work your way up if it doesn't work. No point in going overboard. So I'm going to attempt to push it out. Let's see if it actually works. So finally got the hub out. As you probably just have seen, I had to use some map gas and some penetrating fluid and do a lot of whacking, but it finally came out. Hopefully yours does not take this long to get out. Now when you pop it out, I don't know if this is just normal for Integra or if this just happens to be the one that I've seen and it happened to mine. The outside half of your bearing is going to come off on your hub. This is normal. This is why if you're going to redo the hub, you're going to need a new bearing. Unless you're somehow a magician, you're not going to get it out without needing a new inserting a new bearing. But that is perfectly normal as far as I'm told. Now that you've gotten the hub out, you're going to flip over the knuckle and you're going to have to pull out a snap ring. If you do not do this, one, you won't get anywhere with getting the bearing out, and two, you'll mess up the snap ring. You're going to have to buy a new one. So get your snap ring pliers. You can pick those up at Home Depot, Lowe's, your nearest hardware store or automotive store. You can pick them up for pretty cheap. You know, you can get the really expensive ones that do 15 different things, or you can buy the cheap ones. They all do the same thing. It's really up to you. So I'm gonna get my snap ring pliers and then flip over the knuckle. It's a tad hot, so I'm gonna get my gloves real quick. So I got my snap ring pliers. They should look like this. You want to get the ones that when you squeeze, they pull in, because it's inside, it's not on the outside of something. So you have to pull them in to pull them out. Right here, these are the two snap ring ends. What you want to do is you want to put one side in, one side in the other, and pull together. Now, depending on how well your car's taken care of, it's either going to be like fused in there. You might have to do a little bit of digging with flathead screwdriver to clear out some of the rust and gunk. It might come out easy. Each car differs. But squeeze them together, kind of wiggle loose and pull it out, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is popping out the bearing. So let me pull out the snap ring real quick. So we have finally got the snap ring out. Took a lot of persuasion, a lot of heat, and a lot of penetrating fluid. But snap ring is out. Again, you want to pinch these two holes together, and then it should pop out. Keep this. I don't know if when you ordered your bearing or wheel hub, if it came a new one. I'm reusing mine because mine did not come with one. Each situation differs. Now that you have the snap ring out, now what you want to do is flip the knuckle back over, and I will show you what's next in a second. I gotta flip mine over. Knuckle's flipped over, facing down, and now that we've gotten the snap ring out, we want to push on this outer circle. Obviously you want to push on the outermost edge because you don't want to fuck up the bearing and push only half of it out like I did with the other one and made the mistake. The problem is this is the biggest I can go. Even though it technically has plenty of room to move and probably should go, you know, I'm gonna always check to see. This one does not fit. It's too big. This is the biggest size you can go. So obviously, like you did with the wheel hub, you put it in, insert the handle, and then put in the bolt. Now that you have the bolt in, it does not come out. Set it up inside the hole. Make sure it's pushing on the bearing and the bearing only. You do not want it pushing on the knuckle, otherwise you're going to be here for hours for no reason. Now, of course, like you did with the hub, hit it with a hammer and it should pop out. And again, if it's not coming out, take the process up another level, get some penetrating fluid, maybe a torch, hit it with a heavier hammer. Try different things. It might take a little while to get out. These aren't exactly easy to get out if you have really badly fused one. I'm gonna get to it and I'll show you once I get it out. Alright, finally, I've gotten the wheel bearing out. It's
Right there.
honestly, it took a lot longer than I'm willing to admit, but it's finally out. That's just, yeah, so yours might be more fused in than mine. It might be less than. Take steps accordingly. I actually found the best method for mine was to superheat it with MAP gas and then spray it with brake cleaner to kind of cool down the bearing. So that way it would shrink rapidly and the knuckle would still be warm, so that way it would pull away from the sides. And it popped out instantly. It took me like 4 days to figure that out, but it's out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and comment down below. And if you'd like to follow this project, subscribe and click the notification icon in the corner. It means a lot, and this might not be the most interesting stuff right now, but we will move into more interesting stuff as the year progresses. So stay tuned and see you next video.